We think that the recovery, the economic recovery that's been underway for the last year or so, will keep on going. So, despite everyone agrees is going to be a period of a really intense fiscal austerity, spending cuts and tax rises, we don't think that will stop the recovery. We don't think it's going to be an exciting economic recovery, but we do think the backdrop for local authorities over the next couple of years will be one of economic growth, somewhat erratic and not terribly strong, but we think the economy will carry on growing. Well, I think the big story in the UK economy is that growth in the economy is shifting away from the consumer and from government, and those two bits of the economy have really been driving activity in recent years. And I think that growth is shifting towards things like exports, industrial production, capital spending. So the private sector is really going to have to drive this economy over the coming years, and we think that with sterling, the pound, much weaker than it was 3 years ago with low interest rates, we probably should see the private sector delivering quite decent growth. There's been a lot of talk about a double dip, about the economy going back into recession, both in the UK and the United States. I think that's really pretty unlikely to happen. The Bank of England has told us that it is sort of standing by to do more quantitative easing, printing money, if you like, if things weaken faster than expected. So I think the chances of a new recession within coming quarters are really quite low. But that's not to say this is going to be a strong recovery. I think, on the contrary, it's likely to be a fairly sluggish recovery, somewhat erratic recovery. But I think a double dip is a pretty low probability outcome. Well, I think that it's going to take a long time to get back to normal, if by normal we mean the kind of conditions that were prevailing in 2006, 2007 before the recession. I mean, the UK economy actually has seen quite a decent recovery over the last year or so. We think over the next couple of years things are not going to be particularly sparkling. My guess is that we'll be seeing growth back to trend, a kind of normal rate of growth, as it were, in maybe 2012. So I think for the next sort of 12, 18 months, it's going to be a rather erratic recovery, but nonetheless a continued one.